Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the AlHerronTalks podcast. We have a special edition today. We are actually trying this a little bit differently because we were thrown a curveball a little bit earlier today. We had a very special guest who had to reschedule, and that's cool. We're very excited to have him, so we'll have him on later. But he had something that came up very important and needed to go to, and I'm glad he did do that. So we decided, well, let's do something a little bit different, right? Why don't we discuss the previous episodes, some of our best aha moments, things that we got out of some of our previous guests, some lessons that we learned as well, and just discuss it amongst ourselves with co-host Bonita Love, of course, and our producer extraordinaire, Marcella Robles. And we'll have that discussion, and we wanted to share that discussion with you all live. So most of you know me. I'm a little nervous about doing stuff live because, you never know what you might say, and then once you say it, you can't
go back and edit it.
No, it's out there. You're done.
Well.
So we got to be a little careful, right? We're going to be a little cautious, but we're going to we will still be ourselves. So this should be pretty interesting. This will be interesting. Y'all show us a little grace with this. And if you want to contribute, you have any comments or questions, you can certainly put that in the feed. Marcella will be looking for that, and she'll chime in as appropriate. So what we want to do, first of all, let's do this. I know many of you all saw that, I'm in the middle of a weight loss challenge. And so I don't think we properly updated the challenge between myself and Greg Primus, one of our very good real estate agents, an excellent agent. In fact, he's in our top 100 agents of our 1,000 some odd agents, and he's doing really well. And part of doing well is that, he was eating good, and he wanted to kind of lose some weight, and we challenged one another. And so we started on May the 1st. We had our weigh in, but I don't think we ever announced what the official weights were. So I told everybody, I was very transparent when we did this. I told everybody I started at 231. That was my weight. And we tried to get Greg to say, okay, how much do you weigh?
He had some addition, multiplication going on.
He got
to dance around it.
Danced around it. He finally settled on 2 something. That was his phrase. I weigh 2 something. And but he did do the official weigh-in, and he started at 289. So almost 300, right? You just.
Why you gotta say like that?
Well, no, I'm saying he was almost. Yeah. If you listen back to that particular episode, I did say 300. And he looked at me like I was crazy. Like he thought he was, 230. Like we were the same size. Yeah. And I'm like, no, we're not the same. But so 289 is where he started. Okay. And I'm happy to report for Greg.
First of all, what day is this? This is, so y'all started May 1st.
We started May 1st.
So
today is the 10th, right? Okay. So 9 days into it, Greg has lost 13 pounds.
And that's good.
That's remarkable. That's really good. And you kind of see it in his face a little bit. I don't know about if you can see it in the clothes yet. He said that once he lost 10 pounds, his clothes are going to fit a certain way. I haven't seen that just yet, but
good job, Greg.
Greg, good job, man. I have only lost 5 pounds.
But that's okay. Don't say only.
I'm dragging behind him, and that's a problem for me. So
why is that?
Because I want to win and I want to do better than him.
No, why are you dragging behind? Is what I'm asking.
Oh, why am I behind?
Yes.
I don't know. I can't. My workouts need to be a little more strenuous, I think.
But some people lose it, differently. Like he may drop it all at the beginning, and then by next week he may have a problem getting off.
I think
for you.
Yeah, I think a problem is about to start to happen with him. I noticed I've shared that too. His wife saw him a little bit earlier today. His wife was running an errand. She's an administrator in one of the local school districts, and she went to go get breakfast for her team. And Greg announced to everybody that he's on a plant-based diet, and he's intermittent fasting and all that good stuff. But when she went to go get food for her crew at the Waffle House, she ran into Plant-Based Greg. Plant-Based Greg was at the Waffle House. And I don't know, somebody did inform me that I guess grits can be considered plant-based.
I don't think the grits at Waffle House, though.
Yeah, and it's probably not the buttery, cheesy grits at Waffle House would count. But so he was at the Waffle House eating that, I don't know, maybe that plant-based bacon or something, you know.
Some lettuce.
Lettuce,
tomato,
yeah. I don't know. Bacon, right? He probably had BLT with just, you know, that Beyond, was it Beyond Meat or Beyond?
Yeah, maybe Beyond Bacon.
Yeah, I'm sure they had that at the Waffle House, right? Beyond Bacon. And you know he's a porkaholic anyway, right?
Porkaholic. He likes the
swine. He likes the swine. He a porkaholic. And when you're a porkaholic, you know, it's gonna call you. And I'm afraid he may have fallen off today. And just kind of like, do you remember that scene in Flight? Did you watch Flight with Denzel Washington?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know, Denzel was an alcoholic. And then when he was being questioned by that Senate committee, and he just kind of broke down about that he was an alcoholic. He was drunk then. He told him. He said,
I'm drunk right now.
So when he got busted, I'm sure, you know, he had to explain to his wife, look, I'm a porkaholic.
If he fought, just get back up,
I'm full. He was like, I'm full of pork right now. Right? That's all right, Greg. Just stick with it, man. You good. You good. You're doing great. I mean, that plant-based is going to make it harder. You're going to have those cravings, and you're going to want to do.
Yeah, he took it to the extreme. He didn't kind of wean off a little bit. He did. He did. And he had that look. But picture, it's working.
It is working. I'm proud of him. But if you get a chance, if you go to my page, I did share the picture that his wife shared, and the look on his face is one of somebody who was busted, who just probably had just eaten everything at the Waffle House, right? They were asking, "What do you want?" He was like all of it.
He was like an addict. He was having his withdrawal.
That's right. He was falling off, sweating and going out. Just give me all this on this page right here. I want all this.
Oh man.
Yeah, but anyway, that's just a quick update on the fitness challenge. Greg, shout out to you, man. Keep it up, and I'm gonna try to catch up with you, man. But good work there. And so, Bonita, I want to talk to you about some of the things that in the previous episodes that may have that you found very interesting, or maybe some things that you've already started to implement in your career or your personal life or whatever from some things that you've heard previously. Is anything that, you know, in starting this discussion out, was there anything that kind of jumped out to you that was really extraordinary?
Well, I think the last episode that we did with Connie, you kind of called me out, which I'm glad you did, saying how I had told you before we even recorded it, I didn't have enough time for something. And I mean, I do. Yeah. I don't have kids. It's just me. I have time to do things that I should do.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people rolling their eyes right now. Here you are, no kids. You have a dog, Bruno, right?
I do have my baby.
Yeah, but
other than that, yeah, I make time for what's important. So, but I will say, Connie was very inspiring. Not only her, obviously several of her, but I'm a person. I'm a little private, so I'm actually really good at social media when I use it, but I don't. I was just telling you how, I take pictures and videos all the time, but I just never post them.
Right.
So I have started, implementing more with social media, just to get myself out there more, which I have my spurts. I'll go hard for a few months, then I'll disappear for about 2 months and pop back on the scene.
Yeah, and there's really no reason to do that, especially when, we talked about this a little bit today on our morning or Good Morning Monument deal. That's something we do every morning, Monday through Thursday. Our agents get together on a quick 20-minute huddle, phone call type thing, and just kind of discuss things, kind of get mindset right and get ready. And today we were discussing the fact that I believe, and I think a lot of people believe it too, but most people probably have not kind of put it together quite like this, but it is very important what you know. You got to know stuff. You got to be skilled. You got to be trained. You got to be expert on certain things.
Right.
To really be a benefit to society, yourself, and your family. You have to know something or some things, right?
Right.
But just as important, if not a little more important, is you need to know some things, but it is very important as to who you know. Who you know is very important. You can be a very highly skilled professional at whatever task, an accountant or engineer or something like that, and you're trying to get into a particular corporation or a job, something like that, and usually the person who's able to get in may have a resume that is equal to another person, but the person who gets in usually knows someone who can get them access into the door, right? So it's important who you know. But in my opinion, even more so important than who you know is who knows you. I think that is the most important, because you can know a lot of people, but if those people don't know you, the access to what they can provide for you is not readily available, because they don't know you and they're not seeking you out and they're not thinking of you for these positions or these opportunities. So they have to know who you are. And what we've seen in some of our previous episodes, some of the highest producing, most productive agents that we've talked to, they've taken advantage of making sure everyone knows who they are.
Right.
And one of the vehicles that they're using for that is social media. And social media is there for the taking. It doesn't even cost you anything. And so for people to ignore that opportunity, to not concentrate and focus on using social media to make sure enough people know them and know the brand of you, I think it's a little derelict, right? And yeah. And so, and if you don't have what it is that you want, then it's very hard to feel bad or sorry for yourself if you're not taking advantage of those things that are out there. And so when we listen to somebody like Connie Segovia or Tenesha Lusk or even Rachel Pratt, who, one of the great things talking to her is, Rachel acts like, I don't know how I'm doing whatever I'm doing. But Rachel, by virtue of even coming on our podcast, shows that she is confident enough in herself and open enough that she can be transparent and let people know who she is, right? And people gravitate towards that type of personality. So I really think one of the biggest things that we've discovered or that we've talked about is the fact that letting people in, letting people know who you are, letting people know your personality, letting people know your skill set, not being, Tenesha Lusk said, don't be so shy and reserved about letting people know, hey, this is what you're really good at. This is your skill set. This is your wheelhouse. And because of that, you need to, holler at your boy when you need a house or need to sell a house. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah. Right. No, I agree. I agree.
So knowing that, knowing that you can hit social media pretty hard for 2 weeks and then drop out for 2 weeks, what have you done or what are you going to do to try to smooth that out and be a little more consistent?
Well, I'm going to make sure I post more often. I'm going to post more of myself. And honestly, when I go back and, you can look at your insights and everything, especially if you have like a content creator, a business page, you can look at your insights and see, which posts or stories or reels perform the best. And honestly, the ones that perform the best are the ones of me. Sometimes the nice houses look, get a lot of views and likes or whatever, comments. But most of the time it's me, when I'm talking about myself or what I'm doing through the day, or talking about, like you said, making sure that, because I am very knowledgeable, I just don't share everything on social media. But so those posts are the ones that kind of have the most traction. So now I've decided, especially nowadays, like I have, like right now during this season, I'm having a lot of clients, friends, family call me about property taxes.
Sure.
So everybody, what can I do about my property taxes? What can I do to, save some money? What can I do to protest? So, and I'm like, okay, I'm literally every day answering calls about this or sending text messages. Let me just make a post, because obviously it's not just my clients that are dealing with this. So let me inform the public, which is that's what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be service to the public, really. So let everyone know this is what you can do. So I decided, show myself more, show my skill sets, show my knowledge, and show my personality, which, may be a little crazy sometimes, or a little.
Yeah, and that, and I think that's the fear for some people. But I think when we had our marketing director, Emily Clayton, on with Amanda Simcoe, they were very, in fact, I tried to even lead them in a different way in my questioning, but Emily was very direct and stayed the course of, you can't be for creating a brand or trying to put your brand out there for people to see and people to engage with. You have to be true to yourself. So you can't try to be something that you're not. And even if what you are is not necessarily the stereotypical realtor, that trying to become that and that's not what you are will seem false and fake and will backfire.
Right.
So
because then they see you in person, like,
right. Well, and I think what Emily was really saying is that there is a personality type that will be attracted to your personality.
Right, and that's who you want to work with anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought that was one of the cool insights, because I always thought, okay, well, now you just need to become, it's almost like becoming a character. You need to become.
No, people like the real. That's why every time I post something with just me doing my everyday thing, or, just being myself, I get so many more. I'm like, oh, y'all want to see me, like,
right?
Y'all sure y'all want to see that? But yeah, so it definitely, and people can tell when you're being real or you're not being yourself too. So
yeah, and then with us in real estate, people get into real estate thinking that the business is really about the houses, and so what we do, we help people buy houses and sell houses and lease houses and do all that stuff. But really, the product that we're marketing to our potential clients is us and our expertise and our knowledge. So what they're looking for is, okay, is this the product that I want? Is Bonita who I want to help me do this? And so when we lose track of that and we just focus on the houses and all that kind of stuff, you lose a great opportunity to be able to market yourself to the general public, to where somebody says, okay, I like her a lot. That's who I want to help me. That's who I believe can help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a wasted opportunity for so many people out there, because right now, quite honestly, if you take advantage of social media and show your true self and your level of expertise, sky's the limit. This business can help you make as much as you want to possibly make, and kind of help your whatever your dreams come true. Because obviously we don't make money just to make money. We have aspirations for what we want to do with that money. And so I think if you really take advantage of promoting the brand of you using social media, you're good.
All right, well, let's see how I do. Just follow me.
Yeah, well, what we'll do, we'll ask all of you out there too. We want to help Bonita by holding her accountable. So if she goes ghost, you don't see her on Instagram or Facebook. Y'all say something, right? The fact of the matter is, if a person is trying to engage their sphere of influence, and so your social media friends and associates and all that stuff are part of your sphere of influence, you really have to be in front of them with some level of significance to where they really notice you once every 10 days. And that's not really a lot, right? That's what, 36 times.
Right.
And so as long as you're there enough to where they see you, you won't be forgotten when it's time to do that real estate transaction. They'll remember, oh, I want to use Bonita.
Yeah.
If they don't see you enough, they don't see you once every 10 days or engage with you once every, they forget. Yeah. And whoever's standing right there got your transaction. You're going to be mad, but your transaction went away with somebody else because you weren't there. Yeah. Was there anything else, any other conversation we had?
Well, I wasn't here for her conversation, but I've told you another one that I really enjoyed listening to, because I go back and listen to all of them, even if I wasn't present, was Melinda Miller's.
Sure.
And the reason why is because, and you had asked her about, as far as someone who's had a near-death experience, how do you move forward, from that, and how does your life change? So I always say, my brother makes fun of me. He thinks I'm very morbid. But
did you say and y'all chime in on this too? I don't know if you've heard. I don't know if you heard Bonita pronounce.
I just said brother.
You said brother then, but I don't think Bonita says brother like THER. I think she says brudder.
I just want to.
BRODER. Or BRUDER.
No,
brother.
I don't use a D. I use a TH. I excelled in English.
I'm sure you did, right?
And that annoys me, so I definitely say.
Well,
so now we're gonna go back and listen.
Yeah, we'll go back.
But I have a very Mississippi accent, so that I don't know, but I definitely don't use a D.
Marcella, did you hear that?
How do I say?
Brother.
Oh no, I definitely.
No, you don't say it. It's not. You don't say it as hard as that. It's a little smoother. So you got that southern smoothness to it, but it's broader.
I think I'm gonna have to go back and listen now because I don't know.
Because you're not sure, right? You're not sure, but I think it is broader. But anyway, I'm sorry.
I don't even know what I was talking about anymore.
No, I brought that up to you once before. You told me I was crazy, but I wanted to.
Talking about Melinda.
Yeah, you're talking about Melinda.
Because I did shout her out.
Why was I even talking about my brother?
You were saying something.
He said that you.
He's my. There's 6 of us, but anyway, one of my brothers, he's the one right under me. But he says I'm very morbid because I always tell people, we don't know when we're not. Death is guaranteed.
Right.
We don't know when. We're not gonna live forever. I think a lot of people live as if, we're just here forever. Like, oh, you never know. I mean, you see it every day on the news. With friends and family or whoever that dies unexpectedly, whether they're younger, older, whatever. Like, we don't know when is our time. And so I think with her, how she had that, she could have not been here anymore. So. I try to live a life where, I try to make sure I do what I want to do. I try to make sure, life is what I make it as far as, and, achieve my goals and everything like that. So I think listening to her is just wow, she was in the hospital for how long? 6 months? Or?
Yeah, so she went into the hospital with COVID in July of that.
For people who haven't listened to that one, please go back and listen.
Yeah, July of 2021, I think, or maybe 2020, one of those. Right. And then, but didn't gain full consciousness and kind of awareness until in September, October.
I think,
but then didn't get out of the hospital though until till December, I think. Right. And I think she was saying that when she left that hospital, they were saying she is the longest. She's the person who was there the longest who left alive.
Actually, lived.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. And so you would imagine it does have some sort of impact on your life because you did live. And so now how do you live after that, right? There were some changes. And so what was obvious to us from what she was saying is that it made her kind of reprioritize things. And so
I know. Remember she said she says no more often now.
Right.
And I'm a person, I've always said yes to everything in my past. Not anymore. I'm definitely using the word no now. But she prioritizes what's actually important to her in life now. Yeah, which is good. So she was saying, and it's not saying no is not a bad thing. Right. No allows you to
make sure that you spend an adequate amount of time on the things that matter most. And it doesn't make you it's not making you a bad person to have to say no sometimes. No is a good thing sometimes. And so she's learned the word no and utilizing it to full effect so that she can be much more impactful and beneficial in the lives of those who that she loves. So yeah, that was good. But Melinda's story was really, really good. We enjoyed that. And now one thing that still surprised me, and we're gonna have to pull that together. Remember, she had not talked to, since coming out of the hospital, she had not talked to Dr. Blow, who was the guy who came in and basically kind of changed how they were treating her, and that seemed to have saved her life. Right, she was within just a number of hours before they were going to take her off all the machines and stuff, and then she was going to be up there with Mahalia Jackson and them. She was almost out of here. What we also learned in that episode is that my fear of Mahalia Jackson. And you all have been so wonderful in sending me random pictures of Mahalia Jackson, leaving little, Mahalia Jackson snippets of her singing on my voicemail and all that kind of stuff. Just the maturity. Oh my goodness. The maturity of all of these listeners and friends and stuff is just it's wonderful. And so even we had a little Andrea decided she made a picture for me. She took
that was very creative. I didn't know she was
that's
creative.
that arts and craft background she has. And so they do a lot of that at Grambling State apparently. That's how you get your degree and kind of do some arts and crafts and stuff. And so she made
HBCU slander now.
Huh?
I didn't HBCU slander.
No, not HBCU slander. I love HBCUs, right? But I'm just saying Grambling State.
And this is on episode 7, by the way.
That was on episode.
Melinda's, okay.
Melinda's episode 7.
I thought it was like 3 or 4.
No,
wow.
We got a bunch of them out there. So episode 7, yeah. So go back and check that out. But anyway, I had to explain to everybody that I feared until really late in life after college. So I was a full-fledged adult.
Even now.
If the
nightmares.
Yeah, if the setting is right, I still fear Mahalia Jackson. But for the most part, I've grown out of it. Go back and to hear that story, and you'll know why. It makes perfect sense. But yeah, shout out to Mahalia Jackson.
So, what were some nuggets that you gotten from some of the episodes?
A phrase that I like to use now came from Derrick Butts, and I think that was.
Then that was like episode 2 or 2.
Episode 2? Yeah, episode 2. Derrick Butts is a productivity coach and a really good one at that. And we were talking, and so we were talking about how people are always wanting to advance themselves, advance their career, but they're not always necessarily ready to make that move or make that advance because there's still work they have to do. They have to master where they are before you make that next step. And so Derrick said the thing that somebody once told him, before you make demands, make sure that you are in demand.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to put that on the mirror at the house. So before you make demands, make sure that you're in demand.
Oh, right. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that was one of the best. I kept that, and I don't mind sharing that with people when they start making demands. Like, make sure you're in demand.
Before you start.
Yeah, before you have these demands and stuff, really. But no, that was a good one.
Go ahead. Go.
I was gonna say we learned from you in episode 1 that. In your attempt to try to let us know that Stevie Wonder was indeed blind. I thought about that
the other day.
You gave us a story about watching him choke on some water or something like that at a restaurant. And for some reason that proved to you that he was indeed blind.
Because, let me clarify.
Okay, please do. This is good. I'm glad we're giving you a chance to clarify.
Because when I go back and listen to some of these things, I'm like, these people must think I'm just... No, so... With Stevie, I said the reason I felt like he cannot see.
Right.
He is definitely blind.
Right.
Which I don't see why there's a reason for y'all to think that he's not blind, but whatever. It's because while he was choking, you know, he's kind of, you know, the water's coming out of his mouth and everything. The tables are kind of closed, so he's not realizing he's kind of, you know, getting the water.
Did he get water on you?
No, on my friend who's across from me.
She got wet.
So he's sitting here, like next to me, but not at the same table next to me, but she's sitting across from me. So, you know, it's projecting over on her.
Oh, God.
So,
so first of all,
and you make it sound so. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to make Stevie want to sound bad at all. I mean, everybody's had that. You know, it goes on the wrong. You know, what they
wrong
call
pipe.
Yeah,
but you give us all the. So he actually choking and spitting across the table with your friend.
Yeah, but, so he's not realizing that.
Well, no. Listen,
because he's kind of turned a little bit. So his wife, who I didn't know was his wife at the time, was like, "Oh, you know, she's apologized. She's like, I'm so sorry." She's like, "Oh, honey, you know, turn a little this way, you know."
Because you spitting on somebody. That's what she said.
I mean, she didn't say because you're spitting on somebody, but she said somebody's right there. You kind of turn this way because she was trying to help him, you know, pass back a little bit, you know.
See, listen, and really. And it's my bad, Stevie. In case somehow Stevie wanted to hear this, I really didn't mean to bring this back up. Yeah, I didn't mean to bring it back up like that.
Like, that wasn't even
because that wasn't the point of it. That you had to put his business out there.
Well,
like
because
he was choking.
when you and Johnny, which episode 1, I like that episode too. We gotta have Johnny back. Yeah. But when you and Johnny was talking about, you know, I think he can see or whatever y'all say, he's not really blind. I'm like, no.
Well, we didn't say that. We just said we've heard from people saying that he's not really, right. Okay, that he's been acting for a long time.
From what I've seen, I think he is blind.
Right, because of that. Now, if you were choking, I would imagine if you could see, blind, deaf, whatever. If you're choking, you're choking, right? And so I don't know.
But
how that made
if I
you.
Take a sip of this water right now, you know.
I know what it is. You're going to try to get away from.
Exactly. I'm not going to continue right in front of you. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha. You got that much control as you choke.
Yes, because if I'm not able to see, I don't know what's, you know, around me. So.
I would think some baby choking would really wouldn't care. I'm just trying not to choke to death, right?
And when I say choking, I don't mean he was literally choking to death. He was, you know, just got a little. You know, the water caught up a little. Y'all make me sound so bad.
Yeah, look how you doing, Stevie.
I love Stevie.
Yeah, Stevie's a legend.
He's definitely a legend. Yeah. I'm honored to have even seen him in person. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That was good. That was good. And that was a good episode too. Johnny, remember that episode we were talking about attracting versus chasing, and so what you want to do.
Actually, now that I think about that episode, had a lot of gems in it.
It was a very good one.
It was very entertaining.
And it was entertaining.
You and Johnny, you are funny.
Now Johnny's a good dude. I like Johnny. In fact, Johnny and I were supposed to be doing a comedy show because remember we had Johnny perform. We were doing the comedy shows back in the day. Johnny came on as a guest, and he was just incredibly awful, but he's always wanted to kind of make up for that. Somehow he believes that he can do better if given another chance, and so we're going to give him that chance.
So when is this? Y'all keep
moving back. Yeah, we keep moving back, and I think it's mainly because he's a little fearful of it, doing it, and that's fine. He should be a little scared of it because I would imagine if you touch hot stove, but you don't go touching it again. And so I think there's a part of him that wants to get back out there, but he remembers the touch of that stove. He remembers how people looked at him like he was like something was wrong because he definitely had a Kanye moment. Yeah. It was just stuff fell off the wheels fell off the car, everything fell off the car, bumper, everything, engine fell out of the car. So it was a Kanye moment, and so I would imagine he's not anxious to get back at that, even though he says he is. Right?
Well, I'm anxious to see this again.
Yeah, well, so, that's right. Were you at that one?
I was there.
So you remember, and because I remember people even asking me afterwards, "Hey, is he okay?" Is he mentally?
And the thing is, he started out good, and he just started, going on like I said, like a little Kanye rant almost.
Right, right.
Like, what are you doing? But it was very entertaining to me.
Yeah, and you didn't know if it was drug induced or something like that, and so. and I know him. He's a straight dude, and no, not doing anything like that. But it was weird the way it fell off. And it was concerning.
Surprised y'all didn't do the what was on the Apollo?
Had the Sandman. Now we'll bring. You know what? That's what we need. When we do this again, we need to have somebody to kind of be the Sandman and just kind of.
All right, get out the stage.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll let the crowd indicate when it's time to do
that's
that.
Horrible.
So if the crowd says, and because it'll get the crowd will have a stake in this, and they might get excited, and it makes it fun.
He's definitely probably not gonna be nervous then.
Yeah, but it makes it fun. The crowd
nervous.
and they start chanting, "Get him off! Get him off! Get him off!"
I used to always feel so bad for people on Apollo.
When they do
the
that,
5 seconds in their song or act, and they already get off the stage.
Yeah, because the audience was ready for it, right? The audience was and that's kind of what I want to build here too. So we get the audience is ready because they have control of the show, and then they can start chanting, and we get a guy come out. I want this to be more like a Michael Jackson impersonator, though. Right, so we can have our whole thing. So Michael Jackson impersonator comes out spinning and stuff.
Oh
and,
my gosh!
They just usher him off the stage. That's what we're gonna do. Y'all like that? If anybody's watching this live, you
right.
You can chime in and say you want to do that.
Answer to yourself while you're watching it later. But is anybody live right now?
Is anybody live? Okay. We do have people live.
We got some live people.
Oh, we got 2.
Okay.
2 live. This is why you don't want to do live.
Y'all chime in. We want to talk to you guys too.
The 2 of you.
All 2 of you.
All 2 of you. Just say something. Hey, I'm watching.
People working right now.
Yeah, this is
about the end of the day. They're getting wrapped up.
Weird time to do live. Now, this will, of course, be posted on our YouTube page and
all the
streaming service and all that good stuff. So, so those were really good. I was very inspired by Rachel Pratt's story, very inspired by Gracie. Gracie
I was going to
Perez
say Gracie, yes.
was a very good episode. Gracie Perez, who is an outstanding mortgage lender, came here from Mexico in her senior year of high school, not knowing English.
Yes.
And came over, learned English, graduated on time, got into the banking industry, ascended in the industry, and became just what she is now. She's a beast in this business, and it was just her determination to make sure that she got here and did really well by doing really. I always say it's great to do well by doing good, right? Her mission was to do right by definitely a bunch of people who weren't necessarily being taken care of. So the Hispanic population, many times early on, as people were trying to get into home ownership, were being scammed and abused by the system. Right. People were charging higher interest rates when they didn't need to, charging extra fees for loan application, just a bunch of craziness. And so what Gracie saw was, hey, I want to be in this thing, and I want to be the person, an advocate for this group of people, and make sure that they have the same opportunities as everybody else to be homeowners. And she's done great, and she's still doing great. Yeah. So that was a really good episode.
I really enjoyed listening to that one. I think I called you out. I was like, wow, she's very inspiring. Just hearing her story.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about this, like hearing people's stories and, how they started, where they came from.
Right.
Because people just, I think, look at the success of people and just, I don't know, especially with social media.
Right.
These days, they just see all the success and think, oh, they haven't had any struggles, or they haven't, it's interesting to hear where the people came from.
Yeah, and I think you'd be surprised if people can really relate to you, because people like to know the struggle. People like, because it makes you more relatable, because they feel like, okay, no, he or she has been through something that I've actually been through. I can, if they were able to make it through that, I can do it too. But a lot of times what we like to show on social media is just, the new car, the Gucci handbag, the red bottom shoes.
Right. The houses,
right,
the vacations, but you're not seeing you're not seeing the hard work that gets you to that, and you, like you said, you're not seeing the struggles and
a lot of people can deal with a lot of people can deal with the flossing and the flexing if they can also see the struggle, right? So if they can see, okay, this is what you do, this is how you work hard.
Right. Then they respect it more. They're like, okay, they're not, because a lot of people sometimes think of it as bragging or, like you said, flossing, flexing, and showing off.
And some of it is.
Yeah, some of it is. Right. And some of them is not real.
Right.
But like you said, if they see how hard you work and, they respect it more, I feel like, okay, like, oh, she deserves that. Not saying that you don't deserve it anyway, but they'll say a little bit more if they actually see it. Yeah.
It'll be more well-deserved. You deserve that, right? The episode with Pastor Carter.
I was about to say, let's not forget Pastor Carter.
Yeah, no, I can't miss Pastor Carter. It's great. In fact, we got to have Pastor Carter back soon. Pastor Carter's story, and his story is really one of leadership, right? Understanding what leadership really is. Leadership in the minds of most people is simply it's a title. It's earned through having a title. Real leadership is earned through your actions. And then leadership is earned through your actions to where people then decide to follow you. That is a real leader. That's what Pastor Carter is. That is how he was able to go from just a member, right? Just somebody sitting in the seats to being the pastor of this mega church in 5 years, right? So he goes from that and then ascends all the way up to that. And then when he becomes the pastor at age 29, an established church following the founder who had just passed away, the odds were stacked against him that there was no way that he was going to be able to make this work.
Especially being so young. You don't hear about, pastors taking over at that young of an age.
Exactly. With no pastoral experience.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would have been different if he had pastored some small church at a younger age. So I'm like, no, none of that. But what he did, he came in and he fostered relationships with the people, and the people immediately got on his side. They were pulling for him. They were rooting for him. And so it allowed a relationship to be born between he and the membership that now, 19 years later, the church is 10,000 people strong, well respected across the whole country, and he's a highly sought after leader, speaker, teacher. I mean, just really good stuff. And he focused on, though, just being a servant leader, and that's what did it. And that's what we have to do too, even in our business, in real estate. Just you have to
in any leadership role or any
absolutely. So his was really good. Deana Custer, of course, was great. As always, Deana is kind of just an inspiring person, much the same way as Pastor Carter. She leads by example. It's a genuineness, and when you have that genuineness, people are attracted to that because that's really not what the world is, right? The world consists of so many fakes and people out for themselves and things like that. But then when you have somebody that comes out that's so genuine and so authentic, then it makes people follow them. So
yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was good. I think all of them have been good. I've not all. Are we even missing any of them? We learned that Tenesha Lusk liked the Yin Yang twins.
Is that all we got for now?
No, we got.
But whenever I happen to hear, just randomly,
the Yin Yang twins, you think it's Tenesha?
Often,
right?
When I happen to hear the Yin Yang twins, I'm like, Tenesha.
Yeah, no. The coolest thing about the Tenesha one, because long before I even knew, personally knew Tenesha, I'd known about how productive she was when she was at Century 21 and just kind of coming up the ranks. And the cool thing about her is she is as busy as she is, as productive as she is. Only like in the last just handful of years, she's closed $70 million in real estate, over 231 transactions, something crazy. She makes time to help others. She really feels like that part of her responsibility is to now be a guide or provide an assist to others to get to that level, right? She feels like she's been blessed in that way that she now has to be a blessing to others. And so as you listen to hers, and I think we had the most fun with her because we went a very long time. That was a long one. A long one, but it was so fun. It was so good, and she was so open.
Yeah.
Right. And in fact, she's got a podcast that she's working on too. Yeah. With she and her husband at that.
That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm looking forward to that. So,
but I like how you, even when you're a blessing to others, you even get even more blessings. And I don't think a lot of people realize that a lot of people these days want to gatekeep and, have success for them. Like, there's enough success for everybody.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't understand. It's not always a competition. Once you help other people, you get even more blessings coming to you.
Right. Absolutely. I don't know what that says. Okay. So Marcella was trying to show me something, I think. Marcella, is there something you need? You can say it if it's something.
If it's something that can be said.
Yeah, if something can be said.
Okay, here I am.
Hey,
Brittany's episode.
Brittany, yeah. How we gonna miss that? So one of the how do we miss that?
That was one of the best that I did hear.
Yes.
How do we miss that?
Brittany's story, first of all, really, go back and listen if you haven't heard it.
Brittany was episode
6.
Episode 6. Okay. How did you remember?
Like, how do you remember?
Yeah. Episode 6.
Well, that's kind of what rooted. That's kind of where your challenge now is rooted.
That's true.
The weight loss.
The weight loss challenge really came out of that. But
so she has a good story, first of all. But then, she's also really big in, like, she used to be a personal trainer.
Yeah, she used to have a
gym. Like, she's really big into fitness.
But all of that really came out of her just sharing something that she liked to do, and that was fitness. And then she got all of these followers and started doing these challenges on social media, being transparent, open. And so all these people started following her. And then she realized, okay, let me do something with this. And then realize how invested she became in the lives of these other people, that she wanted to see them improve their health.
She said they still reach out to her today.
They still reach out to her.
Changed my life.
Absolutely. And now, the cool thing about it, since she moved and transitioned into real estate, now they are becoming her clients, her real estate clients. And it's a really cool thing. And her story, her backstory was really cool. I mean, she gave us, a lot of stuff there that was pretty amazing and courageous in some sense, that she had to make some choices, difficult choices, and did so. But the Brittany Durham one, that one's called "I Don't Want to Be Fat No More." You definitely have to go check that out. And how did I miss that one? That's why we're doing this. And then of course we had Tiffany Burns.
Oh yeah,
the co-founder of Monument Realty. That one, because most people don't know her or her personality because
she's in the background a lot.
She's background. She's the one making sure everything is running a certain way. And then we got to know her personality and got to know one of the coolest things that she said in developing as because really she's a big quality over quantity person, and I respect that. I like that a lot. But when you get a company like Monument that's doing what it's doing, it's going to keep growing. And so the key was, now how do we keep growing, keeping the same quality, keeping the same experience? Then she said, well, we can have these different offices, and as you put the right office leaders there and the right leadership there, then all of these offices take on their own personalities, right? They're all part of the same family. So there's a lot of similarity to the different offices.
Right. I think you compare it like to cousins.
But they're more like cousins because they take on more of the characteristics of that leadership structure in those that are coming in. So there's some diversity in the whole thing, but it allows each of those offices, those office leaders, that office leadership to be one with that particular group of agents working out of the office, but they're all part of the same family. And I think that has been a key to why, as big as this has grown, the quality has remained and actually even improved, because there's a concerted effort to make sure that that doesn't go away, right? That quality is there. And so, and it was really cool to hear from Tiffany about her her crush. Remember, her crush was Jose Canseco, formerly of the Oakland A's, Bash Brothers. I remember Jose Canseco real well. He was a beast, and so there's I think we even had a picture of somebody. In case Tiffany was wondering, that was Amanda Simcoe, but the picture surfaced of you and of Tiffany and Jose Canseco. And we kind of let people see that. It was really cool. But, yeah, no, the Tiffany Burns episode was great. All of them were good. All of them were good. I don't know how it's been so – there's been a lot of them pretty quick.
They're all really – everybody has a really good story and a really good –
Really great. Amanda and Emily were great. A whole branding thing. Shoot, am I missing anything?
That's all of them?
No,
Okay.
y'all talked about Rachel's.
Oh, yeah, you know Rachel. Rachel, yeah, and Rachel is like,
and Connie's the most recent one. Too.
Yeah.
Y'all started with hers.
Yeah.
And Rachel
had me.
Rachel's.
I actually went back and listened to Rachel's several times.
I've listened to Rachel's more than anybody.
Yeah, I went back and listened to her several times.
Rachel is if you're talking about a survivor, a thriver, somebody who's overcome everything and is a beast, is a monster in this thing. And
it wasn't even that long ago with her,
No. We're talking, she's I think 7 years of sobriety. I think she said it was 7 years. I think she's at 7 years now, and but she's still fairly young. So a lot of these episodes that she talked about in her podcast, they didn't happen that long ago.
Right.
But she has overcome all of that and is a great role model for everybody. We really like Rachel Pratt a lot.
Yes.
So
my Libra sister.
Yeah. Well, and we've known Rachel probably longer than almost all of them, because back from the KW days and all that good stuff. And so
Right.
yeah, and then of course we talked about Johnny Collins and all that stuff. So I think we got everybody. So it was really good stuff. And so what we like for y'all to do, please subscribe, like, do all that good stuff to the podcast, so we can kind of keep it growing. You all are helping us out. I think
share it with your friends, family, somebody who you think might be inspired as well.
Exactly.
Give us some feedback.
We finally hit over 1,000 unique listeners, and so that was a good thing. We used to always joke about having 7, so I don't have to say that anymore. So we can let's keep it going. But we appreciate all of you guys. We will see you next time.
Bye.
All right, you have a good one.